Hey guys, it's me, Liam, and welcome back to Liam Does Programming. Today we're going to be making another game maker system, I guess. So we're going to be making a helper tip system. So basically, if you click on the screen, we get this little tip here, or this helper. You can say anything else. It can be dialogue if you really want it to be. If you just click anywhere on the screen, it returns the value of a mouse position, which is pretty cool. This could say anything like, oh no, the princess has been kidnapped, or the frog has gotten away, or the house just exploded. I'm not sure what you want to say. You can say anything you want it to. So a few clarifications here. I have a custom font. It's called Pixel Mix. Because it's a pixelated font, like it's all made of pixels, it's more pixely. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's a pixel font. I'm going to turn anti-aliasing off and high quality off. If it was something like Arial or this, you could turn that on because it's not pixelated, but we want it to be pixelated. So there you go. I also have the script called draw set defaults. It just sets all the default scripts back to all the default draw variable values to normal. I do recommend having the script in your projects. It's very useful. Trust me. And that's about it. So let's get started on the actual tutorial, the fun stuff. So now we're gonna make a object called tip. This just controls everything. So if we make a create event, we're just gonna call this, have 3 forward slashes, call it variable init. Image alpha equals 1. You would understand what this does sooner on in the tutorial. Sorry, I can't speak. The tip. So this is all the variables regarding the tip. Previous tip was tip, and then wait time before fading away, which is tip time. This is going to be equal to 3 seconds. Room speed times 3. So 1 second is this room speed. So basically, if you want to know how many steps are in 1 second, if you go to settings, it says down there speed. So to quickly access that, is just type in speed. And plus, if you ever change that value later, it's always there. Now fade type. Tip fade type equals false. So this is saying do not fade. And we're just going to add a cool little feature in fade color, tip color. So this is a color of the tip. So tip color equals C white. Okay. So now let's just quickly create an alarm event. This is we'll use this on later on, but let's just get this out the way now. Change the fade type. This is probably the 5th time, probably even more, I've recorded this video. So I pretty much got this nailed. Well, not the video, but the code. I'll probably make my own tip system. I'll probably make my tip system off by memory, I guess now. Random information that you probably don't care about. We set the alarm if the tip changes. So this is just if the tip is not equal to previous tip or prev tip. Tip fade equals false. Image alpha equals 1. Alarm 0 is tip time. So this just resets it. So if it's halfway through fading away and you click somewhere else or a new message comes up, it just doesn't keep fading. It will stop the fade and reset everything. Just a little cool feature there. Reset the previous tip. So previous tip is just the previous tip. Type previous tip equals tip. So this just tells us here if we want to fade. We set the tip. If tip is not equal to blank, just has a message inside of it. It's going to tell it to start fading away. So stop the countdown, and when the countdown gets to 0, -1 in this case, start fading. There we go. It's simple. Now this is where we're going to actually fade the tip. if tip fade, it's fade type, isn't it? I think, is it called fade type? Let me just double check that code. I have it different in my source. Tip fade. It's tip fade. Tip fade. If image alpha is greater than 0, else if image alpha is less than or equal to 0. So if it's greater than 0, so it's not completely see-through yet, gradually becomes see-through. So this is just going to make it go see-through. Tip equals blank. So when now we're see-through, you can't see the tip. It tips, so it's blank. Tip fade equals false, so stop fading. And now we're opaque again. Because there's nothing in the string, it's not drawing anything. So here we got the step event, very simple. Then the room end. So when the room ends, just reset the tip, because this will be if this is persistent, then if it just goes from room 1 to room 2, the tip will still be the same. But we don't want that to be unless you do, then you can set the tip on room end. So let's say you're on one level and it says, press E to open the chest, and you leave the room, it's still gonna say that. We want it to not do that, so we're gonna do this. If you want it to stay there, it's up to you. That doesn't really matter. So now we're gonna actually draw the tip. We're gonna draw it now. Make sure this is draw GUI, because we don't want, if it's just draw, it's gonna be, relative to the room. We want it to be relative to the GUI layer, which is basically just the window. Let me just get my example up and I'll show you what I mean. The GUI layer is a very useful tool in GameMaker, especially when creating GUIs or GUIs. So as you see, this is the room. So if you were to move the room to the left a bit, this would stay still because it's drawing relative to the screen, while the normal draw event would just draw relative to the room. I hope that made sense. So draw the tip. Actually draw the tip. Draw set H line, FA center. So you're going to center the horizontal line. The horizontal text alignment is going to be center. And draw set V line, FA middle. V line is the vertical line. So draw set vertical line is FA middle. Excuse me. And draw set color is tip color. Draw set font is font tip. So this is just the font I showed you in the beginning of the font I'm going to be using. Now we're going to get the GUI size. So we're going to find the size of the GUI so we can draw the text. GUI width equals display get GUI width. GUI is also pronounced, I pronounce it GUI, but sometimes pronounced as GUI. I like saying GUI because I just like saying it. It's all up to you though. I can't stop you from saying GUI. Display get GUI height. So that just gets the height of the GUI layer. Excuse me again, sorry. Draw the tip. This is going to draw the actual text. Draw text. GUI width divided by 2. GUI height. So if I need background noise, I'm very sorry. Not sure if you can hear it, but if you can, I'm very sorry. GUI height divided by 3. You can always change these numbers. I just like these numbers because they position it in the place where I like it. That's pretty cool. So just positions it from a 1/3 of the screen from below. It's pretty cool. I'm just going to set all the defaults back. So it's going to set to the all the normal colors, the normal fonts, and the normal alignments. Draw set default. So the defaults are basically here. That's the script I showed you in the beginning. It's pretty cool, pretty simple. Now we're going to make a script called tip underscore set, I guess. So we're going to have string and the color. So var text equals argument 0. The color is argument 1. Very self-explanatory. Now, if instance exists, object, if the tip exists, if the tip object exists, else you want to create it. So if it doesn't exist, so you want to create the instance. Tips will create the tip. Okay, so here do tip.tip is text, and then with the tip, what's the tip gonna do? Tip, I think that's tip color, isn't it? Tip color equals col. So here, we're trying to just recall this the script tip set text and col. So basically what this does is gets argument 1, the first one, which is the string, color, which is argument 1, the next one. This starts at 0, I'm not sure why, it just does. So now we're going to check if the tip object exists. If it doesn't exist, create the tip and just recall the script. And if instance tip does exist, just change the text, just change the tip, so it draws the argument 1, and with the tip, change the color. The reason I did that instead of tip color is simply because it just doesn't work. I'm not sure why, it just doesn't. So now we want to make a new object called obj controller, or object control. And then with global mouse left pressed, we're gonna tip set the strings. The strings will be that for now. We want it to be, let's say, what's my options? There's a nice purple I liked. Like, say there's a nice purple. The princess is talking. There's a nice purple she's talking in. So yeah, it's talking some purple color. That's what it's gonna be. So mouse X plus mouse Y plus string mouse Y, and come back here, plus string mouse Y, mouse X actually. So we're just going to concatenate this values onto here. The reason we're doing this string operation here is because it's mouse X is a number. If you don't change it to a string, then it just won't work. So now we have that done. Let's make the object, make the room 0. That can be whatever room you want. So let's say it's level 1, level 5, whatever level you're on. So we put the tip in here. Control. As you see, it should work. If it doesn't work, we'll fix it. Here we go. Moment of truth. And it works. So it's purple, like we just defined it to be. That's pretty cool. That was going to fade away. Oh no, it didn't fade away. Why didn't it fade away? So it did not fade away. Why is this? Let's find out. So tip fade is false. Tip fade is true. Tip fade is equal to false. So we're not fading, yes. This misspelled something, which I highly doubt it. I think I know. This is the whole I think. We just want to go into here, Nah, that should do it for us. Actually, so I'm not sure what we did wrong. Let's get rid of this and see if that works. So I really don't know what I did wrong. So let's just figure this out. So it appears it should start to fade away. No, it doesn't. I think I know why. Let's go to draw GUI. Yes, I completely forgot. We need to set the alpha. Draw set alpha. Image alpha. I'm so stupid. Sorry, I forgot this. That just it just sets the alpha, so how transparent the text is going to be. Now, if you run it, it should be fading away properly. So just click, gives us the positions, and it should fade away. There we go, it faded away. Now, one more thing we have to test. If we get rid of the tip object, this is it, right? So if we get rid of the tip object and have the controller, just the controller, we have to see if it throws an error. Nope, it still works. So that's pretty cool. You don't need the tip in your room unless you want to. So you can play around with this, make it black, make it white. You can define your own colors if you want to. It's a very cool script. So it's black now. It's very cool. So I recommend if you're having I'm not sure how to explain this, but if you like this video, rate, comment, and subscribe and that stuff. And that's about it. See ya.